Good morning, my fellow citizens. How are you? Welcome to a new session, guys. Are you doing all right? Hey, Monse. All right, guys. I just woke up. Yeah, me too. Well, I mean, 30 minutes ago. So I'm very sleepy, just like you guys. And but the show must start. Um, on a previous lesson, we were we were discussing about, in this case, contents about unit number 1. We were like pretty much like wrapping up everything about unit number 1, and now we should start with unit number 2 about society and media, studying for and against essays, also about the imperatives and newspapers and the media. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen with you guys. That's me, but that's not the idea. Let's talk about more interesting things, like, for example, contents about unit number 2. We're just right here. Here. Nuclear aprendizaje, society and media. Yeah, academic writing for and against the sea, newspapers and television imperatives. So let's talk about, in this case, for and against essays. I guess we were, or I was introducing a little bit about this topic yesterday. So, of course, we need to, in this case, deal extensively with this issue about for and against essays. I'm gonna start uploading more material about for and against essays on UCampus. So today I'll be uploading everything about this type of essay. But basically, it's a formal piece of writing, first to consider, right? In which you present two opposing points of view. Okay, it's different from a persuasive essay. It's different from a cause and effect essays, because there are many types of essays, but in this case, you need to present two opposing points of view with equality if possible, but in the conclusion, you reveal your personal choice, your personal stance about it, right? What else? Introductory. It consists of an introductory paragraph, my body, and also a closing paragraph. All right. I think one of the most complicated things is not to give your opinion in the introduction and the body paragraphs, right? Like to pretty much like retain any reference to yourself, not using I think, I believe, in my opinion, until the conclusion, right? Also the language that should be used for this kind of essay is formal. We cannot use any sort of language which is colloquial, personalizing, unless in the conclusion, and also any sort of slang and stuff like that, or everyday language. This is pure formal academic language, right? What else? Do not use informal style. I just said that. Quotations. In this case, I'm going to ask you to quote using APA format or standard 7th edition. I remember I already uploaded, in this case, APA, but we're gonna, in this case, have a lesson exclusively for APA, for the use of APA, because it's at first it's complicated, right? But yeah, the idea is to learn how to use APA properly. What else? There are certain, in this case, formats that you can use to present, and some sort of outlining to write your essay in this case. We can, in this case, outline our essay with a certain number of paragraphs. Like, for example, introduction paragraph 1 in this case, then the main body you can have 4 paragraphs, and then paragraph number 6 is, in this case, the conclusion is about the conclusion. Normally this sort of essays, they take a certain number of words in this case. Give me a second. For and against guidelines. Let me show you. This is not the official guideline in this case, but it's just an idea. I'm going to modify this with Diego, but normally we use, in this case, from around 1,000 words. This is the for and against essay is normally, in this case, around 1,000 words. Okay, that's pretty much the maximum. But I'm going to, when we in this case modify this guideline, we're gonna upload it. Okay, but let's say that our, in this case, essay is around 1,000 words. We can distribute the words within the paragraphs, and in this case with the same size of, in this case, or the same number of words per each paragraph. For example, if we got 6 paragraphs in this case, that would be around 150, in this case, words per paragraph, right? Also, you can have 5, in this case, paragraph outline, not necessarily 6, even 4, right? Some people like to write big paragraphs. So you have an introduction, 2 paragraphs for the main body, and 1 for the conclusion. And that would give you 250 words per paragraph. So it's pretty much the idea of subdividing, in this case, the number of words in the paragraphs, right? In the number of paragraphs. If you got any questions, just let me know, guys. What else in this case? Let's talk about, in this case, hold on here. Well, for and against essays are part of a bigger group of essays, which are called the argumentative essays, right? And in this case, normally we deal with argumentation, which is the act of or process of forming reasons, drawing conclusions, and applying them to a case in discussion, right? So we got the pro argument, or the for, right? Which is the point or statement that supports an idea, a thesis statement. And at the same time, we get counter arguments or arguments against the thesis statement, okay? In opposition to the argument, being made in a written document, blah, blah, blah. So what pretty much the against argument does is refutation. You can refute, in this case, ideas using the against, in this case, argumentation. We got the opponent and the proponent. The proponent is, in this case, the person arguing in favor of something, but it will depend on your thesis statement, right? A thesis statement can be a phrase, which is, in this case, pretty much summarizes the idea that you want to present. In this case, yeah, here, I would suggest you guys deciding on a topic which is controversial, because you always have pros and cons, people for and people against a certain topic. For example, I would say, for example, one thesis statement is that no human being is illegal. That's a thesis statement. No human being is illegal, right? It contains a lot of meaning, and I didn't create the phrase, right? I'm just quoting. So you can start a whole essay based on this thesis statement that no human being is illegal. There are many people who think that, political borders, in this case, may define the quality of a human being as legal and illegal, right? And based on that, governments or people, like regular citizens, can exercise judgment over this human being, even punishment. And there is another side which arguments that it doesn't matter if you should follow any government or imaginary line or borders, like limiting territories and communities, and that no government or no other human being can exercise, in this case, a certain punishment or force other human beings to leave or abandon any specific territory, right? So there are two different opposing views in this case, right? And as I told you, you can develop a whole argumentation based on one thesis statement. And that's the idea. You need to find your thesis statement and then develop the rest of the ideas with citations and examples and arguments, etc., right? What else? Okay, something which is very important when you start writing your, in this case, for and against essay, you should start with a good title. Okay, good title. In a title which, in this case, may explain what your topic, the central topic is, right? The topic of your essay. And after that, an introduction, you should, in this case, pretty much explain the title and also present the thesis statement, right? There are certain models to present this, like this ones, outline models. So you start with a good title first. Secondly, introduction, in which you present your main thesis about this. We don't give our opinion. We just state our case, but not using I think, in my opinion, I believe, not using that. Just explaining the problem, right? Then you can use this outlining, this model, like pro argument 1, pro argument 2, pro argument 3, and then one more paragraph, which is the counter argument and refutation and the conclusion. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in this case, paragraphs. You can have fewer. You can have 5 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs, but 4 is the minimum. 4 is the minimum. Maximum, normally you can have the like 6, like these models, because these are six paragraph, in this case, outlines. Also, there are people who like to, in this case, organize their ideas in this way. Like, for example, thesis statement in the introduction, and then counter argument, refutation, counter argument, refutation, counter argument, refutation, and conclusion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this case. Yes, 5 paragraphs. Others preferred, for example, to do something like, I've seen it before, like introduction, a pro argument, counter argument, pro argument, counter argument, conclusion. So that would be like 6 paragraphs, more or less. So it depends on you guys. It depends on you. Many people find easier to, for example, write a paragraph, a body paragraph, and then write the refutation immediately in that paragraph, like this one. What else? See something interesting around here. Now, we're done with this one. We were checking out this one. Okay, this one is could be interesting. So esto ya lo vimos. The parts of for and against. Introduction, main body, conclusion, ya lo vimos. Yeah, useful linking words and expressions. So you know that in any formal piece of writing, we got the concept of cohesion and coherence, right? To, in this case, take care of, in this case, take care of the cohesive devices or the cohesion, and in our essay, we need to use linking words or linking expressions. Also known as, or AKA, connectors, right? So list points, for example, to list points, we got first of all, in the first place, to begin or to start with, secondly, thirdly, finally, but to list arguments or ideas or examples. Okay, to list advantages, we have one, another, a further, an additional, or a major advantage of blah 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 is, etc., etc. The main advantage of, the greatest advantage, the first advantage of tal cosa is blah blah blah. Okay. To list disadvantages, another additional disadvantage, one, for example, drawback of tal cosa, a further disadvantage or drawback of, etc. The greatest disadvantage, the most serious drawback, or another negative aspect, etc. So using connectors is key, like moreover, or for example, overall, in addition, I think I just named that, etc. So in this case, I'm going to share with you guys a list of connectors so that you can use in your paragraph, right? And very important because these cohesive devices, they help you do smooth transitions from one idea to another, from one paragraph to another. Also, in this case, you can see to introduce points or arguments for or against. One very convincing argument, an argument in favor of, an argument against of, sorry, against, no se pone off al lado del against. It is widely argued, it is believed that most people or most experts, most scientists claim, suggest, argue, feel, maintain, believe, etc. that blah, blah, blah. And some people are in favor of, or some, in this case, many experts maintain that or support the view that blah, 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 blah. Okay, very important how to present ideas. To add more points in this case, furthermore, moreover, besides, apart from, what is more, as well as, not to mention, etc. Contrasting points in this case, on the other hand, especially when you want to refute and a previous argument, on the other hand, however, still, yet, but, nevertheless, although, though, even though, while, whereas, despite, in spite of, okay, to produce contrast. When you want to introduce examples, for example, for instance, in particular, particularly, especially this, this is clearly illustrated by the fact that a typical example of blah, blah, blah. Etc., etc. So I'm going to, in this case, share with you this presentation, which is very enlightening, in my opinion, regarding connectors, right, or linking expressions. Here are more, okay, for the conclusion. In conclusion, on balance, all things considered, and then you give your opinion in the concluding paragraph. All right. So far, so good. Any questions? Any comments? Anything that you'd like to add? Beep, 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 beep. Okay, let me show you one. Let me read the chat. No, profe, todo claro, dice Lamas. Great. Let me show you a piece of writing. You know, I got a lot of examples from previous generations. So give me just a second. Let me show you for anarchist. See this one, I guess, maybe. Or I guess let's say democracy is a double-edged knife. No, not this one. This one. Yeah, there you go. All right. Some students they like to put a lot of pictures and images, which is okay. I love pictures in this case. So even memes, it depends on the meme, right? But so first you have to put, in this case, normally in the header, a lot of people put it in the encabezado header. They put the information about the university, the faculty, the department, the course in this case, and then the name of course of a in this case of the lecturer, but that's not so important. But here, for example, name of the author in this case and the group, and the class, of course. Then the title in this case in big size, and with a picture in this case. That's pretty cool, I think. Right? The only problem is that you have, if you take it from Google or any other web page, you should put here the source, you know, the link, the where you got it, where you steal it from. All right, what else? The introduction in this case. Well, some people here used outlines, so I can send you like a skeleton, like a scheme to write, and this one was an outline. So this is pretty much like topic sentence. TS is topic sentence, and then the other, in this case, sentences were like supporting sentence. This is SS, supporting sentence, and then concluding sentence. This is CS, and then they had their paragraphs this way. Okay, so I'm gonna send you the outlining in this case. It makes the writing easier. It makes your writing easier. Like, okay, here it is the title. Here, then I put the introduction, and I put my topic sentence here. My in this case, supporting sentence here. I put my thesis statement in the introduction here, and then just start typing. And then, for example, body. In the body, again, you know, the paragraph, second paragraph, topic sentence, supporting sentence, and concluding sentence. And then the conclusion is pretty much the same thing. Okay, this is, and then the list of references. List of references. In this case, it's incomplete because you need to, in this case, organize the list of references using APA 7th edition, right? There is a very cool web app or web page that you can use to build your citations, okay? Which is called Scriber. I don't remember if I ever showed you this one before, but with Scriber, for example, you can, in this case, design quotations easily. For example, I'm going to use this one, this web page here. Copy paste, and this one is pretty much, double check. This is a web page. It's a blog. It's a blog web page. Yeah. So in this case, I go to Scriber and then I try to look for blogs here. Let's say web page. It's a web page. Then URL, I put it here. What is the title in this case of the article? I click on the, yeah, face-to-face. That's the name of the article. Face-to-face versus offline. Copy paste here. And then authors. Let's check if there are any authors here. Ryan. That's the author, Ryan. Let me see if I can find a last name. Last name. Ryan. Really? Ryan manages blog. Connect on own language. This guy should have a last name, I guess. Ryan Barone. There you go. So Ryan Barone. Thank you, Ryan Barone. Iniciales. In this case, apellido Barón. Un real varón, ¿cierto? Just Ryan. La Daniela dice, just Ryan. Yeah, I found the last name. So Ryan Barón. Todo un Barón, this man. So, TDD. What else? Fecha de publicación. If you want, you can add the publication date, but it's not really important. What is important is in this case. Hold on. Fecha de publicación. Yeah. Okay. Not the access date, but the publication date. So hold on. Where is it? Oh, shit. Hold on. I lost the page in this case. Here. November 12th, 2019. Okay. November 12th, 2019, and I put it here. November, which is 2019. And name of the web page is ID Tech. ID Tech. There you go. So you can see here a beautiful list of reference. Like you got the author here, the date, name of the article, name of the web page in this case, and the link. Click para copiar, of course, and then I added here in the list of references. So I erased this one and I put this. Pegar sin formato.
¿Profe?
Dígame.
¿Pero la página se hace en español, la cita?
Good question.
Que
No.
el semestre pasado la hice en inglés y usted puso que estaba mala. Y yo dije, yo no cacho de esto, así que no voy a... No la voy a pelearla. Pero ahora como está explicando, prefiero salir de la duda porque usted ahí lo dice en español, pero no sé cómo se hace.
Vamos a pelear terrible, brígido, como decía. No, ya, no, pero está bien, pues sí, de hecho estamos para aprender. Cuando las páginas, por ejemplo, están en español, se puede poner en la lista de referencias, se puede poner en español todo, ¿ya? Pero cuando tú las citas acá, por ejemplo, en el texto, tú tienes acá en Scribble, por ejemplo, la opción, dice cita en el texto. Te vas a hacer clic encima y te dice cómo la puedes citar. Dice, bueno, aquí te sale en español, pero hay que hacerlo en inglés. Según un nuevo estudio, according to a new study, o por ejemplo, en el estudio de Barón, pues, according to Barón, ya, así se pone en el texto, according to Barón 2019, y después podéis seguir con lo que dijo, así como el varón este. ¿Te fijas? Entonces, repito, ¿cierto? Cuando estamos trabajando en el texto, todas las citas son en inglés. Y se pone así típico, according to, el apellido del autor, autora, y el año. That's it. Eso es toda la ciencia. Acá es donde se complica, ¿ya? Porque para poner una lista de referencia en APA séptima edición, tenemos que usar un instrumento, una herramienta como Scribble, o si no, se puede hacer a través de la herramienta de citas de Google Doc, por ejemplo. Por eso siempre recomiendo usar Google Doc, ¿cierto? Y compartirlo con Google Doc todo, porque te facilita la existencia. Entonces, tú apretáis en citas, poní APA 7, que es la que rige hoy en día, por lo menos la parte humanista, Around the World, añadir fuente cita y así exactamente el mismo proceso. Tú pones el autor, a ver cuál puede ser, cierto sitio web. Si no te sale blog específicamente, pones sitio web. Sitio web, ponéis el autor, que en este caso es el varón no sé cuánto, ¿cierto? Ryan. Nombre es Ryan. ¿cierto? El Ryan, después Brown, ¿cierto? Después el título que era el título de básicamente del artículo. Ya, esta herramienta también es buena la de Google, solo que a veces no es tan versátil como la otra, pero igual te ayuda. Título del sitio web se llama ID Check, ¿cierto? Oh, shit. Ahí sí.
Profe, ¿y las referencias tienen que ser en orden alfabético o no?
Sí, en orden alfabético.
Ya.
Así mismito.
¿Y cómo
Etcétera,
veo,
etcétera.
veo lo que viene después del www punto ahí? ¿Con eso me doy cuenta? ¿O el nombre de la página?
Claro, hay que ir viendo los detalles del tipo de página que es, ya porque hay algunas citas, algunos papers que son más complicados citarlos cuando son de revista. Entonces ahí es donde uno va empieza a jugar, ya pues chuta, uso Scriber porque me ayuda, es más simple para mí. Entonces yo pongo revista científica y empiezo a poner ahí todos los datos de la revista científica. No, la premisa siempre es como entre más datos tengáis mejor, ya, para hacer tu lista de referencia. Y si no, bueno, los datos que hayan nomás. ¿Qué más? Bueno, estamos casi en la hora, pero yo creo que la próxima clase nos vamos a dedicar bien a ver estos temas en detalle, como para que ese les quede súper, súper, digamos, académico, ¿cierto? Formal, bonito, ¿cierto? Porque si ustedes aprenden en primero a trabajar con esto, se van a ir por un tubo el resto de la carrera con respecto a, digamos, a cualquier otro trabajo de investigación que les manden a hacer, etcétera. Ya, o sea, citar en APA es fundamental, fundamental en el área académica, everywhere, ¿ya? Así que no sé si hay alguna otra pregunta antes de que terminemos. Yo sé que se nos va el tiempo en esta cuestión, pero la otra clase seguimos.
No, profe, todo claro, gracias.
Bacán, gracias. Gracias a ti. Por favor, porque en el ensayo anterior no fue como con la Marta. No sé. Sí, no, pero es que tiene que cachar de que están entrando. Pues, sí. Están.
Confirmo, profe, sí.
Sí, pues primer
No
año
podíamos
empecé.
decidirnos, profe, fue horrible, no sabíamos cómo hacerlo porque no vi que en Scribble, no sé cómo diablos se llama la página. Tiene
¿Eh?
la opción de hacer el APA, pero en diferentes idiomas. Entonces nosotros estábamos peleando ya, pero lo hacemos en español o en
Sí,
inglés, no sé
profe,
cómo se
por eso,
hace.
ahí nos caímos. Yo dije, no, la hago de oro porque yo sabía ocupar esa página, pues. Pero
Sí,
dije,
pues
hoy
si las
tendré
dos
que ser en
sabíamos.
inglés o en español. Y dijimos, ya, en inglés. Y yo estaba mala.
Estaba todo mal.
Estaba
Hoy
todo
nos
malo.
queríamos cortar la pija,
Y
nos
pensábamos que
queríamos
teníamos
cortar
que
la
ser
risa.
súper bueno el ensayo. Y nos fuimos al hoyo.
Nosotros dijimos, buena, weón, directo al 7 un 5.
Sí, profe. Pero así se aprende, pues.
Sí, pues sí se aprende. Sí se aprende.
Sí, raspando el semestre se aprende.
Sí, no, yo igual, como les digo, si yo no soy estricto en algunas cosas, después los otros profes, así como se dice la expresión, los van a hacer cagar en segundo. Ustedes me ven así, todo light, pero hoy los chiquillos, de repente mis colegas son más exigentes que yo. Entonces, si yo no les enseño a
Dar
hacer bien,
vergüenza toda la carrera.
No,
claro.
profe, sí está bien. Sí, yo prefería que me pegara el guate usted a que me lo pegue otro profe.
Sí,
Fuera de
es
hueveo.
cierto.
No, es que después ya me cago, ¿no? Después no quiero andar rogando por mi vida en los ramos.
Sí, no, sí es mejor que aprendan academic writing ahora bien, usar APA bien y todo el resto, todo el tema, y después ya van a ser un poquito más ducho en este tema en los años siguientes. Ya, no les quito más tiempo. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Mañana no voy a la U porque van a sanitizar. La otra semana, ¿cierto? Si alguien quiere ir, nos ponemos de acuerdo. Y el martes o el viernes. Take care.
Ya, profe, gracias.
Chao,
Que
profe,
bien que no
cuídese.
nos
Chao,
podemos ver.
profe, que esté bien.
Bye.
Yo,
Take
profe.
care. You too, guys.